All right, Next Level podcast listeners and viewers. This is Kevin, your host, of course, and I'm back, and this time joined with Shelby DiBiase. How's it going, Shelby?
Great. Thank you so much. I'm super excited.
Awesome. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad we can finally do this. And
yes.
Because you're local in Phoenix, I actually get to another one I get to do in person. So you're officially the only second in-person recording I've been able to do. So this is in my very fancy studio, as you've noticed. For those of you who don't know, we're using my conference room. So at any rate, what I wanted to do, and you and I were talking about this, was just talk a little bit about your career. You've been in real estate apparently since you were 7, if I'm doing my math correctly. So, but you've been in real estate for how long now?
22 years.
22 years. So that was 1997.
Yes.
Okay. So you know, little thing. How many houses have you sold?
It's pushing like 1,800 homes.
Okay. So a couple. If you could do the math there, divide that by 22. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
That's really good, actually. So for those of you who don't know, Shelby's a top producer here locally in the Phoenix area. And quite frankly, I think today might have been the first time we really met in person, although we've definitely been in the same airport together.
Yes.
But it was also after a long night. And so I'm not sure anybody was really talking to anybody at that point. So, and while you don't always get to meet the people in your market, we've gotten to know each other a little bit through social media. One of the things I really like about her is the way she uses social media for her business and honestly for her regular life, if you will. And so I thought we could talk a little bit about that, but let's start with real estate career. Okay, so it's 1997. Why did you jump into real estate?
It's actually a really funny story.
Okay.
I told you I waitressed for 7 years.
So when you were 2, okay, got it.
I waitressed for 7 years, and I feel like I learned a lot of my customer service experience through that. And I had regular customers that would come and see me. I mean, someone came to see me every day. It was a pancake house. I worked at IHOP, and that little cute old couple, every day they came to see me. And I mean, after years of me being there, he was just like, "You are too good for this." He's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "You should be in real estate." And I was like, "Really? Like, what's that about?" I mean, I was young, so I dropped out of college and I was working. And so I asked him a little bit more. And every time he came to see me, he kept telling me, go to school, go to school. So I started looking into it. And ironically, I sign up for school, I start going. And the funny thing about the story is I'm sitting next to this guy for probably 4 weeks of school. And we chat, we start hanging out every day together. We're going to class, we sit next to each other. And he's like, where do you work? And I said, I work at IHOP. And he's like, really? Which one? And I said, the one 67th in Peoria. I work there like every day. And he's like, you're kidding me. He's like, my grandparents go there every day. And I said, well, what's their name? And he said, the Lowrys. And I'm like, the Lowrys? I said, are you kidding me? I said, that's why I'm here right now. I said, those are my people,
How
so
funny.
It is so weird. Like, it was the weirdest thing. And we're still good friends. He got into new homes, and I wanted to get new homes when I got my license, but they weren't really hiring. He was working for Beezer Homes. And I had another customer that came to my restaurant, and she'd gotten her license, and we were chatting, and she's like, I work at Model Home Center. You should come up there and I'll get you an interview. And Model Home Center, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but yeah. It was in the malls, and they advertised all new homes, and they worked out a co-broke thing where they got 4% instead of 3% if you worked there. And so I went up there and interviewed, and I was like, wow, this would be a great place to start, because I could meet people. It's like an open house.
Yeah.
Every day it was an open house. And so it was really easy for me to go there, meet people. I feel like I can make a good impression in person.
Hold on a second. So you started in the mall.
Yeah.
Your real estate career literally started in the mall.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know, if you didn't have Model Home Center in your market, they'd have the kiosks, like all the makeup and the hair, all the other places that I would stop at in the mall. And then there was Model Home Center. They'd have all these displays of listings up and homes for sale, and there'd always be a salesperson. So you did that.
Yeah. I did that for from 97 to 2005. That's when I started. Yeah, at ReMax. So yeah, that's where I got my start. And then it's like, it's like I said, an open house every day, and you prospect, you try to make appointments to show these people, hey, you want to see this house? Come on, we can go right now. I'll, show you right now. And then I just began to build my database,
Yeah.
And my goal was to work at a place like ReMax. That was kind of, it's like, this is the starting place, and that's the end goal. And some of my friends at Model Home Center were starting to branch out and go to other places. And I was like, I'm going to go check it out, So in 2005, right as the market was going to crash, I thought, I can do this, So then I started at ReMax.
That's awesome. And you went to like the ReMax because Nate, for those of you who don't know, Nate Martinez, who's the broker owner of the ReMax, great guy, runs a huge business, runs a great business, great reputation in town, not just in town, nationally. So really good guy. So I could see why you were going, hey, that's where I want to go.
Well, it's interesting because I actually went to ReMax Integrity.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
There you go. Put it in my mouth.
Yeah. So ReMax Integrity, and there's another story to that, because I had gotten my Freddie Mac account when I was at ReMax Integrity, and then ReMax Professionals bought ReMax Integrity. Well, you know what happened to my Freddie Mac account?
That went away.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right before my eyes.
Oh, that is terrible.
Yeah, so I've had to rebuild myself a few times.
So you went from, okay, so hold on, let me just piece this together. Okay. Model Home Center, you're literally in the mall. People are just walking, cold traffic is walking by you literally every day. And then you find yourself, you move to a ReMax, you land a Freddie Mac account.
I landed a Freddie Mac account in 2008.
And what was that like? Because that is, okay, standing in the mall, cold traffic, and REO business couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
So how did you transition? Because that must have been quite the quite the change for your business.
I got a chance for a phone interview, from someone I knew who gave a recommendation, and she's like, "Hey, Freddie Mac's hiring," and so I had a phone interview, and I did my best job to fake it till you make it. Have you done property management? Have you done something? Like I have several of my own properties, and I kind of just told them what I did, and my transactions, and yes, I have people, I have contacts, I have vendors, because they asked you if you've got vendors that you work with and those kind of things, and so I just I did the best job I could selling myself, and they gave me a chance. And so started out with 20 properties, and then you worked up to 40 properties, and then you worked up to 60 properties, all the way up to 100 properties. And I really learned as I went, and I did not have really a model of what I should be doing. I just kind of figured it out.
Yeah, well, I think that's what we were all doing then. I didn't do REOs like, as you know, I did short sales.
Right.
But same thing though. It's like we're kind of all figuring it out, going, what the heck are we doing? Like, how do I make this work? How do I not completely fall on my face with this opportunity, right?
Right.
And eventually you figure it out. So, okay. So
working
obviously,
around the clock.
Yeah.
Mind you.
Yeah. Especially, 20, 40, 60 that all sounds great until somebody actually gives you 20 or 40 or 60 listings. It's actually can be a terrible problem for a lot of people. And I've seen it
you
actually.
Don't have your system set up.
I've seen it put people out of business.
Oh, yeah.
I've literally seen it put people out of business.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you've seen people go out of business or go broke personally, especially on the REO side, where there's a certain amount of your own money that has to be put up front for things like utilities, et cetera, especially back then.
I had an accountant that messed some things up, and if you don't get reimbursed by a certain time, you're not going to get paid back. And I definitely was lost money for sure. Yeah. Along the way. That's how you learn, though. You get bumped and bruised, and you learn, and you keep going.
Yeah. I had a friend one time, he had over somewhere close to $250,000 of his personal money out to the banks that he serviced, like that he was actively, trying to recollect. So it can get big for sure. So, okay. So you go into REO now, which is vastly different than what you were doing before. Mm-hmm. But you also said you were starting to build your database, which is the really smart thing to do from the cold traffic. Like, did you let it go during that time? Like, how could you keep up the Freddie Mac business and your database?
So, unfortunately, I haven't done everything perfect by any means. Kind of learn as you go. But so I did not cultivate and keep my database going like I should have. I went all in with the REOs because I was drowning a little bit, working around the clock. I'd stay at the office until 3 o'clock in the morning, and even go home, sleep a few hours. And because I just liked my work setup, and it did kind of get me in a little bit of a funk for a while. It's like you kind of wake up when it's over and you're like, what even happened the last few years? Because you don't really have a life. It wasn't fun, but it was surviving, which a lot of agents, weren't able to survive. So I was grateful. I am a workaholic, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I definitely let go of my database, and, to a certain extent, I wasn't loving it, by any means. And so here I am with all these REOs, and then it's starting to slow down. Okay. And then you're like, oh, wow, I have 3 assistants. I have 4 agents. And it's like, they're going from, hey, we're going to give you 100 listings, so now we're going to give you 60. Oh, hey, we capped you at 50. We're slowing down. And they kept letting people go. And I was already seeing like, oh, crap, like it's shifting. What am I going to do? And then, like I told you, Nate's company bought Ed's company, ReMax Integrity. And literally I sat in a meeting, and before my eyes, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is happening. My Freddie Mac career is like gone. Nate was nice enough to share his account with me, but literally it was like, it was getting, I was in half again, so it was like, I was like, I have to figure this out, and ironically, Tom Ferry was ReMax's coach for a couple of years.
Okay.
Right as the market was shifting again out of that. And so I was like, well, I'm going to sign up for this. It was like free for everyone. And so we would go every week. Nate's like, come on, you got to go. And he was really trying to rally everyone because he was kind of nervous too. He could see the market shifting.
Absolutely.
And so he's like, come to this thing every week. Tom Ferry's coaching was like 12 weeks. And, whoever does the most deals in this time period was going to win free coaching. Okay. So every week we go, and Tom's teaching you. And the best thing I learned from that was mega agents have 8 to 10 ways of bringing in business, and that was me with a Freddie Mac and maybe a few sign calls and maybe a few, past clients. So it was like 8 to 10 ways. Well, I don't have that, what am I going to do? So I got my farm, I started, thinking I got Zillow going. So I started building my pillars to switch things around. And that's how I went back traditional, was from that coaching program. And then ironically, I actually won the most sales during that time.
Ironically. No, I could have predicted that for you. I saw that one coming.
So I got free coaching with Tom Ferry.
With Tom, actually.
No, not Tom.
With his organization.
Okay, cool. And I was like, awesome. You know what I mean? Because I like this. It's working, So I got free coaching for 6 months. I went to one of his first summits. And I just got really fired up back into, forget about the past, okay? The short sales are going away. The REOs are going away. Like, this is your new future. Get going in this direction. And I was like, I'm one of those people that once I really wrap my head around it, I'm all in,
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is my new direction. And I started building my business back traditional and started coaching. And I've had a coach ever since. I've coached with Tom Ferry, and I have another really amazing coach.
That's awesome. So tell me about your business today. So give us the overview. I know you've got a few team members and staff members.
Yes.
What's that look like? And where does the majority of your business, maybe just the top 2 or 3 sources?
Okay. So I've got five with myself, 6 licensed agents, 3 assistants, a marketing coordinator, a listing coordinator, and a closing coordinator.
I want to point something out real quick. She has as much, actually more administrative leverage than she does sales leverage. And I think that's an important key, because a lot of folks think a team is all about how many agents can I hire? And I don't even know if you even realize that. Like that is a lot of the agents I talk to, whether it's coaching or just meeting with in interviews or at events, they think a team is all about salespeople. And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong.
Right.
But what I believe is that it's that administrative foundation that is most important.
Well, if you don't run smoothly, it doesn't matter how many sales you do, you're going to crash and burn.
Yep.
And it's all about repeat clients. That is my main focus right now. Honestly, we have gone all in the database. And I'll say that even after I fixed everything with Tom Ferry and got my pillars of business, I don't feel like I ever loved my database as much as I have in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Spending all this money on Zillow, spending all this money on my farm, which is great. But if I spent even a fourth of that with my database, they already like me, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like you throw a little bit their way, then they're just like, wow, they're not going to forget about you, because it's easy for people to forget about you. Not even that they don't like you. It's just that somebody else that's a little more energetic is in their face.
Yeah. Or an investor offered them money unsolicited. And if they're not thinking, I should call Shelby first to at least get her opinion on it. I mean, it's not a, I don't want to use Shelby or I don't want to use you. It's just not thinking about it, because they have lives too, right? Stuff's going on. They've got jobs and families and all that stuff that happens in everyday life that we do, that comes up, and quite frankly, just is a bigger priority that day than remembering who their realtor is.
Right.
Yeah.
What it is so true. And it's like, my coach used to slap me on the hand every year, and he's like 10% of your business. It's like, as long as you've been in the business, why is only 10% of your business like repeat? Like, where's all your people? And I'm just like, oh, I don't know, you know? And so it's like, then we started doing the pie event, and then we started doing the movie events, and we started getting our stuff in a really good system that automatically sends stuff out. And we have this really nice weekend newsletter that I signed up for that lets people see every week, like what movies are out and what sports events are coming. And so I've added that to what we're sending my database. I want to send them stuff that they want to see, not just bombarding them with, hey, do you want a CMA? Do you want a CMA? You know, do you want a CMA? It's like, nobody wants to hear that. I don't like that high sales. I like very low key, genuine sales. So.
Me too. So it's like build the relationship, and then the sales will come out naturally. Absolutely. Everything that comes out of that, actually. I really love that approach. And somebody said to me one time, think of if you're sending newsletters, because there's some really bad ones, that if you had to start charging for it, how many people would stay subscribed to your list? Okay. Like if you couldn't send it to your database for free anymore, okay, that's a good one. But they had to in turn pay you even $1 a month. But was your content good enough that they would still subscribe?
Right.
And so I gotta be honest, that scared me, and I just stopped sending stuff out, which is probably not the right answer. We've since restarted, because like you, big focus on Sphere and the people we've already done business with, and the people who already know us and like us and all that stuff. But it's just a different way to frame that question to make sure we're providing value, right?
Yeah, and I don't have a marketing degree by any means, but that's what I'm always sharing with my marketing gal. I'm like, pick it up and ask yourself, would you pick this up? You know, what is it about this that's keeping your attention? Because people have 5 seconds that they're looking at it. And if it's not good, there's not something to catch their attention, they're just going to throw it away. They're going to put it down. Totally. And so I think that's, you know, the way our society is today. Everything is like fast, fast, fast. But thankfully, like I said, I took my 10%, and now 50% of our incoming business is referrals, agent referrals, past clients. It's gone way up. I'm super excited. So
did I just do the math, or did I hear that right? So in 3 years, that's gone from like 10% to 50%.
Yes.
So I want to just highlight that for a second, because 3 years really isn't that long.
Right.
But 10% to 50% is an enormous jump. And to think that if you just focus on this for a couple of years, and again, you didn't do everything all at once. First, it was the pie event. Then it was the movie event, right? Then it was like, okay, how can I provide value on the weekend newsletter?
Right.
It was simultaneous. I'm sorry, it wasn't simultaneous. It was one thing and then another and then another. You got something right first, and then you added on to it, right?
So I mean, like our first pie event, I'm going to be honest with you, we probably had 20 people come. And so if you look at your database, you're like, well, that was a bust, you know? No, it wasn't a bust, you know? Now, and that's the thing, is I don't get discouraged easily. And I think that's the problem most agents do.
Yep.
You know, even if you do a movie event and you only have one person at the movie event, one person, that's great, you know? But look at, you know, just getting people to come to the event and to see you and to remember you. They don't spend any time evaluating how valuable that is.
Yeah, I'll tell you, our very first pie event with similar situation, I think we had ordered a total of 32 or 33 pies. And of course, not all of those get picked up, right? So I don't remember how many people walked through the door, but I remember one gentleman, I'll never forget him, because he doesn't live terribly far from where you live. And Shelby's on the opposite side of town to where my office is. It's a hike. And the pie is like $6 or $7, whatever it costs, right? But he drove like 50 minutes or whatever it was
People
to pick up a pie and shake my hand and say,
I know.
thanks for helping us sell our house and we appreciate you. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, like that, even though we only had 30, that was my first experience too with the pie giveaway. I was like, wow, this is really powerful. Somebody thought, even if, he could have been the only person to show up to that event. I would have counted that a win.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been, that event's a win because this guy drove 50 minutes, 55 minutes, whatever it was, one way to pick up a $6 pie and shake our hands. Like, that's ridiculous. That is so awesome when you think about the power of that for our business as real estate agents.
Right.
So
that really, I mean, honestly, I'm very sensitive and I just love that people go that extra mile and come. And the next year we did it. And the minute we sent out, you know, the invitations, people are like, oh, you're doing it again. Awesome. You know, and it's like, oh, they remembered we did it last year. And you're like thinking that it's not making as much of an impact as sometimes it does.
Yeah. One of the things I like to tell agents, and I bet, tell me if you've experienced this or not. So, I mean, don't just say yes, because I want to know if you agree with it, is that you get credit for inviting people even though they don't show up. So like the people didn't come to the first one, but they got invited back to the second one. It's still like you psychologically got credit because you invited them even though they didn't come get their pie. That's the experience I've had in the last couple of years of doing client appreciation events.
So you mean the people that didn't
come
the first
even
time,
though they said, hey,
really excited that you invited them back?
Well, it's just that it was an acknowledgement of the fact that we did invite them, right?
Right.
It was as if I felt like I got the same credit from them in their mind as the people who actually showed up and picked up a pie.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Like so many people are like, you know what? Oh, I'm going out of town, but wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
You know, geez, you're giving away all those pies. Good for you. Wow, you're awesome. You know, so I think the best kind of relationship, it's give and take, you know, and it's not, I don't want people to think that all I want is their sale and to list their house and to make money and, you know, give me a referral. You know, it's really not about that. I love building relationships with people and I love helping them and being the best negotiator for them and, you know, getting them to realize or want to say, hey, I can't make my next purchase without her, you know, because she values me and the transaction and I'm willing to let the transaction go if I don't think it's a good deal for them. I don't want to just close and put that money in my pocket. That's, you know, I'd rather not and have, you know, a raving fan over there saying, hey, she saved us and we realized this wasn't a good, you know, sale for us. And she, you know, we decided not to purchase and she treated us the same.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think that's really important for us as business people, but you can't even, you just said there was so much good stuff there in what you just said the last 30 seconds of being able to let a deal go. I think there's two really big lessons, which is number one, we really have to put them first, right? Our clients' needs, that's what being a fiduciary is all about. Like we're really putting their needs first. But the other piece is that you can't do that. My experience is that most agents can't do that because they don't know where their next deal is going to come from. And so it actually becomes about them. Right. It's not that they want to hurt somebody or put somebody into a bad deal. It's that they're not doing the activities regularly to bring in deals to where if that deal doesn't close, they don't eat that month, so to speak, right? And I've seen that happen with a lot of agents that I think is tough. But because you've obviously been very clear about how to bring in business and adding these different pillars, you're never afraid of losing a deal because you know you've got more there.
Well, and if you always focus on the mindset of loss and scarcity anyways, your head's in the wrong direction.
Totally.
You know, it's like, let that go. And what else? There's probably 5 other people that are trying to raise their hand and you're busy with this.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. Okay. So I totally interrupted you. You took us way off track there. So there's 6 licensed people, including yourself, 6 team members on everybody inside the administrative side, if you will, administrative/operations. I know 50% of your business is coming from referrals.
Yes.
What's the rest of it look like? And what's the Shelby DiBiase team look like? Like, what is the daily activities or weekend activities? Like, I know you guys do open houses, but I mean, is that a major part of what you do?
I'll say that, you know, probably the next strongest part of my business is the Zillow business.
Okay. It is still Zillow. Okay, cool.
It really is. So it's tapered.
That's allowed around here, by the way. I don't care. Zillow's not a bad word on this podcast.
Okay.
I think it's a great thing. So.
I mean, it's like you can't beat them. So
let's all be clear. Zillow has the #1 brand in our industry.
Right.
We should all be clear about that.
Yeah.
That battle was over a long time ago. Let's embrace it. That's a different discussion to have.
Right.
Zillow is something that you can choose to align with and work with to benefit you and your business and your clients, so you have more.
Right.
Or you can choose to ignore it. I don't necessarily know if there's a right or wrong answer. It's what's right for you.
Right.
And so cool. So Zillow is the next big piece of it.
The next big piece, and then I would probably, I put, past clients referrals and even agent referrals in one bucket when I say referrals.
So do I.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Zillow. And then I would probably just say our other, paid ads that we do with Boomtown and stuff. They're really starting to turn those, and we're getting better at cultivating those relationships, those colder relationships.
Yeah.
We have Boomtown, that's what we use, and we're just getting better at Boomtown. And so I would say that's probably the next one. It's probably close second would be My Farm. So that's they're probably tied.
Okay, cool.
Those two.
That's awesome.
We definitely do open houses and those things, and they are a part of our business that we're getting, better at. The problem is it's like that, those open house relationships that you meet, you gotta, it's just having those agents put those people in a system and follow up with them, because people don't just buy a house just because they met you one time, So it's like, that's the only part we're trying to,
unfortunately.
yeah, it's like you lose leads if you just don't put them in the system.
Yeah.
You write them on a piece of paper, and it's like, well, what happened to those people? You said they're, oh yeah, those people. And then if you don't call them, you don't keep track of them, they're definitely not going to remember you.
100% agree.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
We do try to do 1 or 2 open houses every weekend.
Okay.
And it's word recognition. It's all goes into that. Like I'm in, My Farm, I'm in Zillow in My Farm. We have open houses in our farm. And I just feel like all of that works together. So sometimes I'm not sure if they saw the newsletter, then went to Zillow, clicked on it. Is it,
Well, so that, to me, I think that's where we're at in this world. I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't just have to be real estate. But it is, what is the last click attribution, right? That's the word for it. How do we know that? Is it really because I saw the open house sign, or was it because I saw the 17 posts on Instagram and Facebook, and then I just so happened saw the open house sign,
right.
I went, and it snapped, and that's the day I went in. Right. The thing is, I firmly believe it all works together.
It does. It needs to work together, and that's what in order to be successful, unfortunately, you have to do all of it.
Yeah. One of my coaches that I've had and he's been a mentor in my life and a friend, is you just got to be omnipresent with those people, whoever you decide your people are, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's in a farm, like so geographically, or maybe a certain group of people like your sphere, so demographically or whatever. Like if you can remain omnipresent with them, like that's the key, because you don't know if it's going to be the sign in the yard, the open house sign outside, the video that you did that they saw on YouTube, or the Facebook post, or what, you just don't know. Right. And so if you can just be everywhere where your people are, whoever it is that you're trying to target, you're gonna have success.
Yes.
So okay, cool. So you're in the business now for 22 years. Like you learned a few things. What are some of your like bigger mistakes though that you've had in real estate, in your business, that you wish, like, maybe you don't wish that you could undo them, because I've found that a lot of times the best things come from big mistakes. Mm-hmm. But maybe you wish you could undo them. Like, what are the 1 or 2 things that you've learned or that you've made a mistake on? You go, I'd really do that differently the next time.
Well, the number one thing, and we already talked about it, but just the not taking care of my past clients.
Yeah.
So I've lost people along the way that I'll never be able to get back. They've moved and they've already found another agent, and they already lost trust in me because I forgot about them. So that's the number one thing. The number 2 thing I would say, that when I kind of was thrown into this team when I got the Freddie Mac account. It was like, oh crap, I got to put this thing together because I can't take care of all these properties by myself. So the problem is I didn't have like the mindset of a leader, a strong, supportive leader, in someone that really, now I feel like I'm like the mom with the baby ducklings, that like, I'm just like trying to cheer them up every day, trying to, keep them motivated. When they fall down, I try to show them that doesn't matter. Let's move forward. And I feel like in the past, when I was a team leader, I was just thinking of myself as I'm me, and these people are going to help me when I can't do the extra work. It wasn't like a team, not like a us.
Got it. Yeah.
It's like my team's like my family. I mean, we spend so much time together, and I sincerely love every one of them. And so when I first started, I'll never forget, when I tried to do a pass off to a client. I can't even remember if it was my client or someone I already talked to, and my agent was up front and I was up front trying to pass her off to these people. And I did a terrible job. Okay. I felt like it was awkward. She felt like it was awkward. It was awkward. I did not make her feel good about it. It was kind of like, okay, so she's gonna help you now. It was terrible. I mean, I just hadn't done it before. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, Annette's a rock star. You are so lucky. Unfortunately, because it's like sometimes you start the conversation with people and then you have to back out and you want them not to keep calling you. You want them to call the agent.
Yeah.
So how do you back out? Like you're not leaving them high and dry, that this person is equal to you and they're going to just good job. So I love to use the word partner. Hey, this is my partner. The minute you say partner, they're already thinking that person is with you.
They think you're their equal.
So I tell my agents the same thing. When you get people on the phone and they're asking for me, say, you know what, this is her partner. What can I help you with? Because people are trying to get a hold of me and they don't want to talk to this other person that just got on the phone. So I said, the first words out of your mouth need to be, I am Eric, her partner. What can I help you with? And when a lot of times when you say that to someone, they're like, oh, okay, well, I'm talking to the right person.
Yep.
And so it's just learning how to empower the agents to feel like they're worth what they are and more,
Absolutely.
And then how I can back out of the deal and not feel like I'm the only person that can do the best job, because I'll be honest, I have felt that way for a long time, that like, if I'm going to get these people in a house, I have to do the job, and I don't have to do the job.
Yeah.
So my goal now is to really just train them to have the same mindset that I put on every day of how I know I can go out there and go to that listing appointment and beat everybody, or go to that, meet that new client and show them that they need to work with me.
So how did you get over that? Because I know a lot of people in our industry struggle with that, of like, I have to do it, versus now you feel like Eric's got this, or Annette's got this, or whoever on the team is going to handle it. How did you get over that? Because that's a hard mountain for a lot of us to climb, to be able to go, no, I don't have to be the one that does it.
Right. Well, number one, I didn't keep people. If you don't make them feel good about where they're working. I mean, I've had a lot of success keeping people, but in the beginning, I think I could have kept more people that left. And I blame myself more than anything in the relationship. People will stay longer where they work if they love where they work.
Yep.
Even if they're maybe not making as much money as they think they could. And so all the coaching that I've had gotten, he's just like, how many transactions can you really do and live the life you want with your kids and do the things you want? And he's like, if you want to do these transactions, then you need to train people to be like you, and there's plenty of agents out there that are good, but they don't have the tools. They don't have the guidance. They don't have the coaching. So your job now is to train them to just think about what you do every day and train them to do what you do every day, and encourage them and love them and help them believe in themselves. Because a lot of times it's just believing in themselves.
Yeah.
People have an appointment to cancel, they have a contract to cancel, and they're like, this isn't working. I'm going to go back to my other job or whatever. And they give up too soon. In this job, you have to have a lot of perseverance, a lot of consistency, and you have to be able to take rejection.
So true. A lot of rejection in this business.
A lot of rejection.
Okay, so a couple rapid fire stuff just for fun. So I know you're a reader. What are your top 2 or 3 book recommendations? Maybe not even just recommendations that you give to other people. Like maybe you've actually physically given the book out, or just someone comes to you and say, hey, what should I be reading? What are the top 2 or 3?
So a quick read for even like a new agent that's learning sales. If you've never read the book, Go for No.
Go for No.
Have you read that?
I don't know that I've read that. I've read something similar to along the same lines, but I don't think I've actually read that one. So
it's a
Go
short
for No.
read.
Okay.
It's a short read. I do a lot of listening, so I can drive and listen.
Right.
Get ready and listen. Because I get bored sitting still too long, looking at pages.
I know that you're not fidgety at all.
I'm not fidgety. So Go for No is a great like business book, how to, create more contacts, close more deals, build your database.
Okay.
Of people, your pipeline, so to speak. And then I would say a great mindset book for me was, what is, I can't even think about it. The one, Don't Give an F. What is it? I can't even think about it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, by Mark Manson.
Mark Manson, yeah.
Yeah. Why can I not think of the name? I know. Okay, we'll link to it. It's a profanity laced
I'm not gonna say the word.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. That one, honestly, it's such a good mindset book.
Yeah.
Some people get caught up in caring about the wrong things.
Yeah.
And they spend all their day on that. It's the same thing of, I heard this once, it's like, okay, your boss comes in and they tell you, they get mad because you're late or something. And then they say, you're always late. You suck. You never do your job. They spend 2 minutes, bitching you out. Okay. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you're allowed to say that.
Okay. They do that. So then what do you do with that? Okay. What most people do is, of course, you're going to get your feelings hurt. You're going to get mad. Whatever you're going to do right that minute. And then you call someone and you tell that person, right? And then you tell someone else at lunch, and then you tell somebody else. And then you call someone, tell someone on your way home too, I had a lousy day. My boss came in here. So it's like you owned that thing all day long. And it distracted you from who knows how many things, right? And so I think that's the biggest, thing from kind of the concept from that book, and a lot of books that do that. It's like, who was worse to you that day? Your boss or you? You were worse to you that day. You beat yourself up. I don't suck. I'm great. And then you're trying to talk yourself into being great when you really feel like you're not great, but you just let that message roll over and over and over. And it's so true. That's what we do. We let other people's opinions just engulf us and create who we are. And so for me, helping my team to keep that positive mindset, when they lose that buyer, when they lose that appointment, I'm like, okay, that's okay. Let me help you find 4 or 5 more people.
Yeah.
Let's get Boomtown open. Let me help you right now. Do you want me to make calls with you? So my job is just to motivate,
That's awesome.
Uplift and motivate. But that book, something thing, I can't remember it. It's orange.
Yeah, I know. It is. It's orange.
Yeah. So
I'll link to it.
Those are two good ones. And, you wanted 2, right?
2 or 3. Do you have another favorite?
Well, I just finished Zen, The Art of Happiness. I might Zen, I think The Art of Happiness. Yeah. Okay. That was a really, really good book. And it really just talks about a lot of these books I noticed have the same concept, but they just spin it a little bit different.
Yep.
And this book is just really the power of just being happy where you're at. Stop looking at where you were or where you think you're trying to go, but where are you right now and living in the right now.
That's good. I like that. Okay, so what's your favorite drink?
Oh, that's
I'm just hitting you with some rapid fire.
I mean, I love them.
You can name. I can do this because I know some of these answers.
Well, an old fashioned is one of my classic drinks. Okay, I'm not gonna lie with that.
I like it.
I like whiskey. So if I was gonna do a whiskey, that would be my classic drink. If they can make it right. In some places,
they gotta get it right. Yeah.
When you walk in, if they know how to make it. Wine.
I see you post about wine a lot. I see you post about wine a lot.
Yeah, and I like Josh. Josh it's a reasonably priced go-to. All of their Joshes are great, so I'll do Josh.
It's so funny. Side note: I had never heard of that brand until I saw you post about it, and that's how you post about it again. The first time you posted about it, I thought it was maybe it was a custom-made label or something.
It was, but maybe.
I don't know.
Someone bought me.
I just thought like some guy named Josh like made it for you or something. And I was like,
yeah.
okay. And then you posted about it again. I'm like, wait, okay, that's just different. And then I saw it in the store and I started laughing. I was
Okay.
like, wow, Kevin, you're really stupid sometimes. So, or
Josh
slow.
is a good go-to.
So that's a good go-to. All right. And okay, so when you're not working, you can be found doing.
I'm going to be working out. Does that count?
Yeah.
Okay. I do like to work out. It really pumps me up.
Yeah.
You know?
Get you going.
It gets me going. I feel like I have such a better day if I start with a workout, even though I don't like to wake up early.
Okay.
When I work out early, I just really brings up my mood.
Okay.
So working out, I love hanging out with my kids.
Yeah.
My kids are really amazing kids. They really are. I mean, they're my friends too.
That's awesome.
You know, I'm trying to be a mom. I mean, I am a mom. They know when I put my mom hat on, that's it.
Something tells me they know.
They know. But
something tells me they know.
I'm still the fun mom too.
Yeah.
I want to be the fun mom.
That's awesome.
So we like to go to Cardinals games. We like to go to the beach. We're going to the beach in 2 weeks. I'm super excited.
Awesome.
So I take professional dance lessons.
So dancing, going to the beach, going to Cardinals games, working out.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And then driving the kids everywhere.
Are you like their personal Uber?
I feel like I am.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. All right. So I gave you, I want to make sure that if we have anything else that you want to talk about, we talk about that before I give you my last question that I have.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
Good.
So actually, before I do that, so where can people find you? So if someone wants to follow you on Instagram or Facebook, or where are you most active? Where can someone connect with you at?
Okay. So my Facebook page, Shelby DiBiase, that's where you find me. We do have a DiBiase team Facebook page too. It's we don't put as much stuff on there.
Okay.
And then I have an Instagram page. I do run stories. I try to keep my stories running to just kind of show you some behind the scenes, what we're doing on a day off or, you know, a regular work day, how I start my day, some of my favorite drinks, some of my favorite shoes, my appointments, meeting new clients. So it's kind of fun. It can get exhausting sometimes doing it. You know, you're like, can I just be off for this? But it's like how someone kind of gets to know you outside of what you do. And I will say that I've had lots of people reach out to me around, you know, the United States and be like, hey, when are you going to post, you know, your shoes? Are you going to post your shoes today? Or, hey, you know, what drink is that? Or, hey, where are you right now? And then I keep seeing they're watching the stories. So, you know, you do start to grow a following and people check in. And it's like when you're maybe not quite on, they're like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, shoot, okay.
It's like you got to get on your game.
Get it on your game. So it's kind of interesting because like right when you think nobody's really paying attention, they are, you know? And so if you're doing, you know, Facebook posts or Instagram, you know, I would just encourage you to, you know, obviously people want to know what you do, but, you know, don't make it all about that. And what are you like? What's your personality like? What are your favorite things? And, you know, just it's a way for people to connect with you. And I have definitely, especially in the last 6 months, surprisingly had people reach out to me, you know, and message me a question or comment or, you know, and sometimes it brings you up because you're like, shoot, I'm off today. I better get it together.
Yeah, it's nice. Okay, cool. So last question for you.
Okay.
Top two or no, I want three.
Okay.
Top three pieces of advice for just sort of kicking more ass in life, business, whatever it looks like.
Okay. So I'm a big believer in, you know, getting up, getting in a routine.
Okay.
So this is all one.
So
you get up, you have a routine, you put it in your schedule. If you treat your business like a business, it will run like a business. If you treat it like it's a hobby and you don't know what you're doing from week to week, you're not going to make any money. So I like to get up, get my schedule going, get dressed for success. I mean, I am big on, you know, I like to wear cute shoes and a nice dress. And even if I don't have an appointment, I dress like I'm going to an appointment.
You're ready for it.
I'm ready for an appointment. For me, it makes my mind work differently.
Did you ever see that baseball movie with Kevin Costner? There's a million of them where he's a pitcher for the love of the game. And he's like engaged in the mechanism. It's like he says that to himself, and it's like it gets him in the mindset of like, hey, this is the only thing right now is me and this batter in that case, right?
Right.
Or you with me in this in business and work, and it's like it's go time, right?
Right.
Is it kind of like that for you?
Well, yeah, it's like as a new agent, as I remember I've been doing this since I was a new agent, it was like I would go to Model Home Center in the mall, even when I didn't have a shift, and I would work in the back there because I wanted to feel like I was working because I couldn't. So I would get up, get dressed, go to the office, and that was my office back there, and I would work, and it put me in the mindset. So when I get dressed, even if I don't have an appointment and I go to the office, I'm in work mode and I'm different. I mean, people see me coming down the hall, I walk fast, and some
People are like, whoa.
people are like, I think I intimidate some people sometimes, and I don't mean to,
Yeah,
but when I'm
focused.
dressed up, I'm focused and in work mode. If you were to see me on the weekend in flip-flops or something different, I might look a little different. You know what I mean?
A little more relaxed.
A little more relaxed and not so focused, So sometimes I don't see things around me, because I'm thinking about all the things I need to do.
Okay, so that's all one. So give me, what's the next couple things?
The next couple things are, honestly, it's about staying consistent. Okay. You have to be consistent. You can't be afraid of rejection. Okay. You can't.
Not in this business.
No, you can't. And honestly, you need to be educated. Like all three of those things are in the same category for me. I think too many agents get their license and then they never want to step foot in a class again, only when they have CE classes they have to take. And this business changes at when you're not really paying attention. Okay. Which kind of goes into this too. You better be paying attention to what people are doing around you.
Yes.
And what the market's doing, because what worked last year might not work in 2 years.
See, this is why it's no surprise to me that you're as successful as you are, because you're right. A lot of people don't go back to the classroom, right, unless they have to. And I know a lot of people who, like, they won't go to a class or an event unless they are the ones speaking.
Yeah.
And I had a friend say that to me. I was asking him about an event last year, and I said, "Hey, are you going to be at XYZ event?" And he said, "I'm not speaking there, so I'm not going to be there." And I thought, what a really weird viewpoint. Like, I get it. You're important. You have things to do. Mm-hmm. And are you not like slowing down enough to learn and see what's going on around you in your own industry and in your business? Like, to me, that seems really weird in a really good way to get run over. So I remember, like, when I got into business in 2008, like, my third deal ever was a short sale. So short sales were just normal to me. That was what business was. I can't tell you how many phone calls I had with another agent who, it usually started out with, "You know how long I've been in the business?" And then I rolled my eyes quickly. And then I realized they had no idea what they were doing, because they had just rested on the fact that they had been in the business for 10 years or 20 years or whatever it was, right? And so they weren't paying attention to what was going on around them. They weren't educating themselves. They stopped learning, as you said, after they got their license, except for CE. And that's a terrible place to be.
Well, and I make my agents, when you sign up with me, ReMax has a meeting once a month, and I tell them, you will be at that meeting.
Good.
Because it's like, for many reasons. Number one, when I started at ReMax, and I won't name names, but I remember seeing some top producing agents, and they never were around. And I was like, I'm at this company, and I'm looking up to you guys. And I don't see you. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what's important to you. I want to learn and grow from you guys.
Yeah.
And they weren't there. And I was like, you know what? If I was there, I'm going to promise that I'm never going to do that. That I'm going to show up, support the company that I work for, show up, and they always have great information. I mean, you're going to learn something. And that information you can use on your next listing appointment. Like, they bring great things to us, and you're like, I don't need to go hear that. I already know what I'm doing. And so I make my agents go. But I think that's a big mistake that a lot of agents don't take advantage of, that the farther they go up, like you said, they stop going, don't feel like they need to go. And you never know what an opportunity is until you go see what it is. Like, what if you went to a meeting and someone was there and they, were great and they want to work for you.
Yeah.
And they saw you, and
you don't know too. Like, you could learn something that could change the course of your business, could change your life. You might meet a future business partner. I mean, the reality is, it's easy to get. I see people. It's like everyone does the extreme, right? They never show up again, or all they do are go to classes, and it's like neither one of those are good, right?
Right.
But you've got to have some time where you go feed your mind, you get better. I don't care how good you are. There's somebody out there that knows more and you can be learning from them, even if it's just a micro subject. So go out there and keep learning for sure. So I love that one.
Right.
All right. That was 3, right?
No.
That was 2.
Two.
That was all.
I threw a lot.
I like it. You have like, these are all multi-layered. These are good. It's like 1A, 1B, 1C, 2A, 2B, 2C.
And then the last thing is, and I can't say I've always been the best at this, but honestly, I feel like none of this is worth anything unless you're really enjoying your life.
Yeah.
You know, you are living in the moment when you're with your family and your friends and putting the phone down and just really, and that's why I've done too, like the charity things. I've really dived into that too. It's like, I don't want to die someday and all people said was she was a great agent or a real estate agent. It's like, what else? I mean, at the end of the day, money doesn't buy happiness. You know, success is what, you know, it's only here and then it goes, you know, but it's like, it's your family and your friends and those relationships. And I don't have like 1,000 friends, you know, I'm not that kind of a person. I just have like a little small group of people that I really invest in. And my team too is like those people that I invest in. And that's where I get like the true joy, I feel like, of life and fulfillment, my children. And so that's awesome. Well-rounded, you know. It's hard because you get so tunnel focused on building your business, but you forget that, you know, your kids and life. And so just, you know, trying to tune out when you're with those people, I think creates a more healthy, happy.
Well, like it allows you to go back to it stronger and like a more fully charged you.
Right.
Like we have to charge our cell phones. Maybe we should charge ourselves too.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
We have to charge our computers. We have to, like, everything has to be recharged, including us. So I think that's really brilliant. Well, thank you for being on with us today.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So we will talk to you again soon. Reach out to Shelby, follow her, catch up with her, and I promise you will not be disappointed. Thanks a lot for spending some time with us today. Thank you.